Hello, dear students. Hi, how are you doing? Uh, Dr. Saurabh Jindal here. I'm here to talk about something which has come up a lot since the NEET exam. Welcome everyone. Hi guys. Let's welcome each other. ये जो session है, this something is something I wanted to keep for a very long time, and this happens almost every year. This happens almost every year. Okay, and this happens because post NEET there's a lot of issues with confidence, a lot of issues ki when students say कि sir I was thinking I did my best, मुझे लगा कि मैं बहुत अच्छी तैयारी कर रहा हूँ. Many of you have good GT scores also, right? Hi Shri Lakshmi, hi Bharat, hi, how are you doing बच्चे? Hi, welcome everyone. I'm also reading your chats live, so feel free to connect with me. Today it's going to be almost like an agony aunt kind of a session, which means that we will talk about those those things about your mind right now which is not comfortable. You are kind of a bit unhappy with your results, you are not really there, you don't know what to do next, you are confused कि sir एक और attempt करें या कुछ उठा लें, private institutes में कुछ उठा रहे हैं. I know we have to shell a lot of money, we'll get only private institutes. So the point is, where are we here, and what should we do next? So I'll tell you a brief outlay on how I want this session to be. Okay, I want this session to be in a particular way. What is that session is going to be, and how is it going to play around? Pehle, I will talk about the messages that I've got, and from there I will get the questions and I will speak to you about the answers to those questions. These are just general questions जो सबको अपने दिमाग में होते हैं. Plus, I really want this to be interactive, so I want you to actually ask me your questions on the chat box. I'm reading your chats. Good evening, bache. Swati, hi. Pooja, Vedanti, hi. Sri Lakshmi, Bharat. I'm happy to see so many of you here for this very important session, which really addresses the plan. Okay, what is to be done next, right? Okay. So the first question that I get, from all the questions that has come to me, the first question that I really get is, sir, I'm very unhappy with what happened. I think it's a mistake. I did, and I was thinking I will get a better score, but the score just did not come. So how do I actually go ahead? What should be my next plan? Should I join a regular batch? Should I join a TND batch? Should I sit at home and just revise the already made notes that I have? Should I prepare very well for the INI-CET even though the NEET exam, really my score was very bad? Can I get something at least in my INI-CET now? Should I even prepare for it? Yeah, should I just stop everything? So these are just the general questions which I feel really come about. So I'll just keep on addressing one by one. Hi, good evening everyone, bache. Good evening. Okay, so let's just start delving into that stuff. Okay, now the first question, which I really want everyone to understand is, let's assume I'm giving you situations. Let's assume that under the common situation, let's assume that you have notes. Okay, let's assume you have subscribed to some recorded platform. Let's assume that you have access to content. And let's assume that you have even tried to do something on that. Problem with content which was recorded, okay, the content may be good or bad, that's not something I'm commenting on. What I'm trying to say is, were you able to finish that content in time, and whether you were able to revise everything so that you retain everything in the exam. The problem honestly was that you read all that, so you spent a lot of time. I know that समय आपने बहुत दिया था, मेहनत भी बहुत करी, but problem is, was revision possible? Imagine 19 subjects and then having to revise everything so many times so that you retain. So problem was not the reading, the problem was retention and recall. So the first point I want to emphasize for all of you is, go back in your head and think that is the mistake reading or is the mistake recall? And you will really realize that the problem was you did not remember. So the first point is, your first point you want to remember is, your content has to be smaller. So we have a word, I call it precise and concise. Okay, so what we want you to know is if you can get a content which is smaller of 19 subjects and only the important stuff, then you can obviously revise it faster and faster. That's the first thing I want to tell you. So tell me, in which platform, in what forum can you actually do these multiple revisions? That only happens if you finish the first reading faster of all the subjects. So I'll tell you my reading on this. Okay, if you have only done online stuff, if you only done recorded stuff, the first thing you want to do, you want to get to a face-to-face class. There's absolutely no doubt about it. You did not score well in your NEET exam. What is the reason for that? The reason might not even be the reading. The reason might be the recall and the retention. So how do you retain better? How do you recall better? The first point all of you need to know is get to a platform which is face-to-face. I'll tell you why. Face-to-face is the most valid, authentic, and proven way to get where you want to be. So if there are no hassles, and even if there are some hassles, get to a face-to-face center. I'll tell you why. If you look at my own lectures, I also have recorded platforms. I also have recorded lectures for you, just in case you miss my face-to-face batch. Now, in my face-to-face batch, you are forced to concentrate. Think of me as a ringmaster. Think of me, I will address Prasad, I will address your question also, bache. Okay, I am also, Simon is trying to write down your questions so that I will deal with it as and when my talk is over, so that I don't miss your questions, bache. Right, I'm just kind of scrolling it down. Right, okay, 1 second. Okay, yeah, okay, good. Right, now, so face to face is your first bet. I will force you to concentrate. I finished dermatology in 2 days. I bet that you cannot finish dermatology in 2 days on your own. If you have a recorded platform, if you're not with me live, whether that might be online live or that might be face-to-face live, you need to be to my live class. If face-to-face is that, even better, because then I'm physically there in front of you, and the energy of a class you cannot match in your own house. In your own house, you're going to be in a four wall. The only thing you will have is just your inner motivation. What about outer motivation? Outer motivation means the motivation of students around you, because they give you passive energy. They give you energy as well, because you can see, oh, he's concentrating, I will also do that. So somehow unconsciously and subconsciously, they are pushing you from the side. Are you with me in this? They are pushing you from the side, and that's really now something that I want you to do. So that's the first point I want you to do. I want you to always make your own notes. That's even more important. Handwritten notes of your own. Beat other people's notes anytime. Don't buy Xerox notes. Don't buy notes from seniors, because once you do it on your own, you will not forget it very easily. So because this is called as writing memory. You know what's a writing memory? So don't only have visual memory of what you're reading, you also have writing memory. And then when you do this, you have two zones of memory, and there are two sensory inputs. One is your vision and one is your writing. So you cannot ever bypass your own handwritten notes. That's extremely important. Face-to-face class also gives you a lot more than content. It gives you perspective. It allows you to sit for long hours. It forces you to concentrate for long hours, which is very essential, because I see that mistake also, and that also might be the reason why the NEET exam did not go well, because you could not sit for that long and you could not concentrate for that long, and that's why you did bache silly mistakes. So many students ask me that, sir, I made silly mistakes. You know what's the reason for? There's nothing like a silly mistake. Silly mistake has only two reasons. One, you did not revise your topic well. Okay, if your topic is extremely clear, concept based, not just rattofying everything, if your concepts are good, if you have revised multiple times, the amount of silly mistakes are going to go down drastically. Second point, if you are not able to concentrate, again that gives you silly mistakes. So only two things to avoid silly mistakes: revise. Then I call it the RRR. And the movie RRR, the Oscar RRR movie, for you the RRR is revision. I need you to do multiple revisions, at least 3 revisions. Okay, and we have calculated that you need about 150 to 200 days for your first reading if you are with me for a regular batch. Okay, once you do that, Then your second revision or third revision are much faster and faster and faster. Now, I want you to make all your efforts to get to a face-to-face center if it's available for you. Otherwise, come to us in online live, because then you have a curriculum. Then you have pressure that no matter what happens, I'm feeling sleepy. Still, I will sit with Sir, because Sir is driving me, Sir's energy is pushing me, and I'm not going to sleep. But if you're yourself in your own house, then obviously you will say, oh, let me rest for 5-10 minutes. So that's the first point I need you to understand. Got this one, Sai? Okay. Now, let's look at the second situation. Let's assume you've already done a regular batch, and that too, let's say face-to-face batch, and your rank is still not come. What next? What next? Now, what I want you to do at that situation, I want you to, what situation I want you to do now. First of all, go back and think one thing. Have you done revisions? First question to be answered to yourself. Second, have you understood the topics well in whichever platform you went to? I'm not here to advertise any platform. I just want you to know and assess yourself. Were you clear in your concepts? If these two questions are answered, it really solves a lot of your issues. Third point, were you 100% honest in your effort when you were doing that reading and recall and revision, whatever you did from your regular notes? If you feel that yes, there was something lacking inside me, I did not do 100% effort, I did 90% effort, that 10% is the reason why the rank did not come. Because here the effort 1% reduction is also make a rapid difference. If you have already had the regular batch, if you already had a regular batch face to face, then it makes sense for you to join a TND class, so that that momentum remains, so that that vision remains, so that you are in the same train and other people. Very importantly also, did you give your GT exams? Did you do MCCO practice? Is also a question which all regular students need to answer for themselves. Lot of students give GTs only at the end. Don't do that. GT is the most important thing, because you will have to apply your mind for 19 subjects together. And that's an extremely important thing. So many students say that I have revised so many times. Okay, one Dhanushri is asking me, I have revised many times, I already took a drop, I messed up on the exam due to lack of time management. Should I take what I get or drop again? Now listen, bache. Dhanushri, I'll answer your question. The first thing you have to understand is, you know why the time management was a problem? Because you did not practice possibly GTs before that exam. It's like Dhoni saying that I will not do net practice and I will directly go to the pitch and score sixes and fours. That's not possible. That's just not possible. You get this? That's not possible, right? What you need to know, bache, right now is you have to first practice. Practice, practice, practice. If you practice 100 times, maybe you will hit 1-6 on the pitch. So you possibly did not do practice well, and I think that is what you need to do. And if you can identify that this was my problem, I don't think you should, I think you should try again. See, bache, one thing, 1 year loss right now is okay. It is going to make your life. So don't think I don't want to sit anymore, I don't have the energy. No, if you have identified the mistake, then you go there with 100% dedication. Listen to this one thing. All of us go down in life. Only some of us have courage to get back up. Are you that person? Are you that person who then wants to say, no matter how many punches I've had in life, I want to get up and punch life back? It's my time now. It's my time to stand up and get back. And remember one thing, bache. You don't want to, first of all, be sorry about yourself. Okay? Understand one thing. Life is giving you a test, right? And you may have failed that test, but you have not failed life. Life gives you opportunities only if you grab it, only if you come out of your comfort zone. Most of us want to get back into comfort. Okay, let's take something, even if I don't like it. Remember one thing, the field is like your wife or husband. In all probability, it will stay for you forever, right? So 1 year there, 1 year here does not really matter. Listen to your heart and try to fly. Most of us are okay being average. What if you challenge yourself and come say, okay, let's do this, let's kind of come back. Now INI-CET is round the corner. I know this miracles bache happen. Even if you have not done very well in your NEET exam, Gurus here are there to guide you for your INICT. Why not look at INICT as a fresh hit? Why not say, okay, I've got a fresh target, I've got a fresh arrow, I've got a fresh heart. Let me just fire it, let me drill it. You never realize that, there's so many students who will say, oh, NEET was not good, but somehow magic happened. And what if you get something and you look back and say, I'm so happy that that 2 month of preparation at the end really made my life. And this is something so important. Remember one thing, there's so many of you who would have got a bad rank, 20,000 rank and all that stuff. If you have got a score of less than 500, it's very important for you to get into a regular batch, because your concepts are obviously not clear. Get this? Your concepts are definitely not clear. You need to drill those concepts again. Remember one thing, bache, that the only thing in your hand is focused effort. You get what I'm saying this? You get what I'm saying on this? There is no harm in trying again for an INI CET course. You get what I'm saying this? Okay, let me address a few more questions. Let me address a few more questions, okay? Because a lot of questions are coming thick and fast. I hope I don't miss any of your questions, right? How to avoid silly mistakes? I told you, bache. Revision, revision, revision. I'll tell you why. It's like driving a car. If you're not really good at driving the car, you will make mistakes, right? What if you become perfect at driving the car? The amount of mistakes go down. Same thing is your preparation. Silly mistakes happen because of lack of revision and lack of concentration. Start to meditate. That's one of the most things I want you to do. Most important things I want you to do is start practicing the skill of concentration. Concentration does not just happen on the day of the exam. You will just say, oh, I will concentrate. It doesn't happen like that. You have to work towards it. And when you want to work towards it, the only thing that really helps is training for concentration. So apart from training for your subject, train your mind to sit for long hours. Start to think that, oh, the back is hurting. No problem. My mind is not wavering. So concentration practice, your theory practice is so important. Also extremely important for all of you is to understand the concept of revisions, revisions, revision. I am saying this again and again. What happens most of you is you get a FOMO thing that, oh, my notes doesn't seem to be adequate. Oh, so look at this institute. So many good new data is there. Let me put a chit into my notes. Let me then increase the information I have. The problem is all of us have a small memory bank. You have to squeeze in 19 subjects into that. If you squeeze in more information, old information will have to exit that space. And guess what? You don't want to prepare for exotic questions. You want to prepare for standard questions. For example, psoriasis. Standard psoriasis, if you prepare well and you prepare again and again and again, you will score. Don't prepare for syndromes. Don't prepare for things which are just very weird, because those weird questions don't decide rank. Rank is always only decided by standard MCQs, and that's what you practice for. And what we know is standard MCQs are always covered in classes. Are you with me on this? Did you get this what I'm saying? Did you get this what I'm saying? Okay, now listen to this. All of us are extremely dedicated and extremely dedicated and really focused near the exam time. What if right now, see, right now there is time. What if you start with super effort and 100% effort right now, right? Even though you don't feel like it, you feel all your effort is going wasted. You have a question in your head. Your question is, should I give another attempt? My reading on this is, if it was a first attempt, you should always give a second attempt. There is absolutely no doubt about it. In that second attempt, always get to a face-to-face class. Always get to a place where it's a live class. Okay, if for some reason you can't go there, get to a recorded batch, but as far as possible, get to a live batch. Interact with your teachers. That's so vital. Most of us feel convenient with our phones. The problem with convenience is you lose efficiency. So convenience and efficiency are inversely proportional. More the convenience, less the efficiency. And face-to-face class is not very convenient. No, you have to go to a place, you have to sit there, you have to travel, you have to sacrifice your sleep, and sometimes you feel sleepy inside the class. That's inconvenient. But guess what? The efficiency goes down. And what you don't have in your preparation, you don't have the luxury of time. You have only very limited time and very limited brain space. Don't waste it on a mobile phone distracting medium. And that is why my go-to platform is going to be definitely a live face-to-face class, right? Okay, now Arshi has asked me, I have made average notes in certain subjects and my concepts are not so clear in them. In that case, do I subscribe a recorded version only for those subjects? But Arshia, what I need you to understand is it's so difficult to make notes from those recorded classes if you have not done a face-to-face. If you have time, I'm telling you again and again, get to a live class, get to a face, because your notes are going to be crisper. If for some reason you can't do that, then I'm okay with that recorded platform, but that's going to take a lot of time. Yes, those are good lectures, I don't deny that, but we will put it if you can't get to a live class. You get this, right? Okay. Arpita has asked me, TND should be from the same platform from where we done regular class or any other platform? This is a very good question that you have asked me. Now the problem is, once you switch to many platforms, I always say one source of content. Okay, what do you mean by one source of content? If you have multiple sources, what it creates is confusion. What it creates is too much of information in your head, because two institutes cannot be the same. There's going to be massive differences between them. Now if you are at institute number A, I want you to understand one thing, that first analyze that are those regular, have I done a regular batch? Have I done concept building? If you have, there's no harm in doing the TND batch from the same institute, because then the only thing you will do is sharpen your already existing information. Once you add new information, then you have to master that separately, and that's going to be a lot of time consuming activity. So if you are with us for a regular batch, come with us for a TND. That gives you a schedule, because see, information is this much. You have not revised this much information, and we are trying to create like a chewing gum. We are trying to increase our information. What will happen? The chewing gum will crack from between. Don't stretch it. Don't have some, pardon, have some mercy on your poor brain. It's already stressed. It's already accumulating too much of information. There's so much of memory issues. You don't remember. You are stressed. You are almost feeling, what if, sir, I don't do well in exam? This is called the what if syndrome. The what if means you only think negatively about what if I don't do well, what if I am only MBBS, what if I don't do well in life, what if I don't get the wishes that I have in my head. You know what if you think opposite? What if you think, what if the rest of my life is crazy, what if my rest of the life is so exciting? Can you say this sentence with a lot of heart on and a hand on your heart? Are you excited for the next phase of your life? There's a Celine Dion song, I can't wait for the rest of my life. Do you have that jazba right now inside your heart? Do you have that heart beating saying, oh, things are going to be great, things are going to be great, okay? Things are going to be great. And you know what most of us have is negative prediction for future. I'm here to tell you that magic happens. It needs you to trust yourself. And that trust is without any evidence. We call it trust without evidence. Means what? You don't have a good rank, so there's no reason why you should trust yourself. You almost feel your preparation was never been good. But what if I tell you, belief without trust is what gives you success? Belief without reason, we call this blind belief. Trust me on the concept of blind belief. It takes you to places you would never have even dreamt for yourself. Success and failure only depends on one thing: how much self-confidence and esteem do you feel for yourself? Your hard work is what I'm rooting for. We are here to understand one thing: we are not here to predict your results. We are here to predict whether your effort is going to be 100% or no. And that's something that we know, right? That's something that we understand. Okay, now how to increase concentration? I increase concentration with the concept of something called as a magic hour. You know what's a magic hour? Get up in the morning. The first hour of the day is where you really build concentration. You do your training. You do your meditation for 15 minutes. I can tell you a timer which I tell for everyone. It's an Insight timer named app. It's an app for meditation. It's called mindfulness based stress reduction. Get 15 minutes of everyday morning a meditation with closed eyes. Don't lie down and do it, otherwise you'll fall to sleep. Sit and do it with a straight back. 15 minutes of that. 15 to 20 minutes of movement. When you do movement, that increases your hippocampus size, that increases your memory and concentration. That's the second way. Third, get some sun. Sun wakes you up and sun charges you to retain better. So three things I really think are really the powerhouses of increasing concentration: meditation, movement, and sunlight. Okay, get what I'm saying on this? Very important to take some time off and soothe yourself. Very important for you to soothe yourself, because soothing is something that we are not doing. We are not doing soothing activities. What we are doing is stress activities. You know why stress happens? Because you are trying to look at what the results are there. Are they coming, not coming? What is my GT score? One more problem I feel is you concentrate too much on the score of GTs. That is my GT going up? Don't do that. GT is only for your own personal practice, for concentration training, whether you can sit for long hours and concentrate. Don't compare your rank with anyone else. It's not a predictor of a NEET score. It's not a predictor of INICT. It is just practice for yourself. You get what I'm saying on this? Yes. Okay. Now, PYQs are obviously the gold standard. We are running a PYQ series on INICT. I want you to just lap it up, just lick it up. And PYQs by itself can be game changers. You don't want to leave any question, not even one. So if you don't have a lot of time, I want you to get to your PYQs as soon as possible. Get to the DBMCI channel and see the INICET PYQs. We are running that. We did a one-shot series, which was an amalgamation of wonderful gurus coming together to give you their perspective. Now, when you have this under your arsenal, what more do you need? You basically need some degree of belief, yeah, some degree of uh, thinking that, oh, unthinkable things do happen in life. This is just a phase of life. This is just a test, and this shall pass. And there's a beautiful saying: this too shall pass. This phase very difficult, but it will pass, bache. Lot of students, okay, Sahadev has asked me 10 years PYQ plus T&D enough, question bank ke 2 hours to complete. Bache, one thing I want you to know: if you're looking at an INICT right now, okay, you cannot do all the question bank MCQs for sure, but focus on the PYQs, bache. Focus on the PYQs. Focus on the note that you have made. If you have made a 20th copy, try to cram important volatile stuff into the 20th copy and then go from there. It's extremely vital to understand. There's so many students even ask me how to revise short subjects for INICT. Remember one thing: short subjects give you a great return on investment. The amount of time you have to put in and versus what you get back is very, very good. So obviously big subjects are very vital, but short subjects, please do not ignore. Importantly, don't spend too much of time in one reading. For example, if I say dermatology, let's say somebody is taking 4 days to take to read dermatology. Why not do 2 revisions of 2 days each? That works better than one revision of 4 days. So be what we call as a fast reader. Most of us are slow readers. Yeah, you know what we do? We read and then we say, oh, I did not concentrate. Okay, let me go back, and I go to the first word again of the question of the sentence and I read again. There's a, oh, maybe I was thinking of something else. Then you go back. So this is called the loop of reading. This is very wrong. You have to go ahead. Even if you think you have not retained, it's okay, go ahead. And that is where your concentration will be tested. It's so important for you to do that. Okay, right. Now, how to approach the next exam? Please guide us. Bache, next exam, the exact details of the entire thing is a rough guidelines have already come. But one thing I can assure you is the portion remains the same. There is no change of portion. You're going to drink water from the same ocean, right? The way you do drink water, that's the only difference, meaning the way of asking questions are different. Next, don't fear that. It's not a demon, it's the same content, it's just a different way of asking the question. It's a longer duration of exam, so that's why it's even more important for you to be able to sit for long hours. Can you imagine there's a morning session and an afternoon session, and it's so difficult to sit for that long? Have you ever sat for that long? You have not. So why not practice your GTs like that? Sit in the morning, sit in the afternoon, and that's how the practice happens. That's so important, right? Now, uh, Right. Now let me just see a few more questions. Let me see a few more questions, right? Uh, Dermat is my dream branch. I'm willing to put in all efforts again, but I'm scared. What will people say? Please help. This is he's a score of 39,000. And you know what? There are innumerable stories, bache, of students who are like 39,000, 40,000, 45,000. They lost everything, but they did not lose hope. They did not lose hope. If you are someone who's not lost hope, you have an excellent chance of winning in this game, because life has thrown a bad punch at you. You have possibly fallen down. You're possibly also bleeding. You're also hurting. You don't know whether your wishes and your desires are ever going to be fulfilled. The only thing you do is you dust yourself up like this and you stand up again. And then you are ready for your fight. Be what we call as the warrior. This is called the warrior mentality. Warrior mentality means you get back up and you're ready to fight again. Don't honestly look at what other people say. You are here to only make a name for yourself. You are here to make something out of your life, and that opportunity you have to do. It's like the Arjun's eye, you are only going to think of one thing: dermatology, dermatology, dermatology. If that is your passion, that is what you focus on. That is what you focus on. There's so many students near the exam who lose sleep, right? Because they're panicking, and that panic happens because they've not planned in the beginning. Divide your time that you have into small pieces. I always say morning and afternoon, do two subjects, okay, when you're reading. One subject, second subject, so kind of there's some neural cross connection also, right? So do two subjects. In the end, do some MCQ practice at the end. So once you do this on a daily basis, there's a law that I always say in my classes, the law of 1%. Law of 1% means you read 8 hours today, let's assume. Tomorrow you feel like quitting at 7 hours 30 minutes. You say, no, let me push 1% more, meaning let's do 15 more minutes, let's do 20 more minutes, let's do 30 more minutes. So try to push and push and push and push. Once you push yourself out of your comfort zone, that is where the discomfort zone gives you success. The more you are inside a success cocoon, the success comfort zone, sorry, comfort cocoon, you're not going to really win this race. So importantly, get back to a zone where you feel uncomfortable. And that discomfort can be headache, that can be abdominal pain, that can be not wanting to read because you feel your effort is going wasted. But trust me on this, it's I always again give that example in my classes. Imagine that somebody has a big boulder, a stone in front of him, and there's a hammer, right? And he hits that stone with this heavy hammer. One hit, the stone doesn't crack. The second hit, the third hit, 100 hits, and there is no crack. There is no change on that stone. The person who's hitting thinks, oh, all my effort is going wasted. But he did not know that there was a micro crack happening inside. And you know what? 101st hit and everything cracks immediately. So was it the 101st hit which really broke the stone? No, it was the first 100 hits, right? Which was creating a micro crack, and that's what I want you to do. I want you to create the micro cracks today, the micro crack tomorrow, the micro crack day after, and this one day, it just finally opens up like a beautiful flower, and things just fall into place. There is a place and a space for everyone in this life. There's a story written for all of us. The only thing we need to do is walk the path. Don't sit down. I also say this: if you can run, run. If you cannot run, walk. If you can't walk, just crawl. But whatever you do in life, you better be moving. There are some days you will read very well. There are some days you will not feel like doing very well, but you do something. On some days you are just with fever, maybe coughing, you're just lying down. You lie down and read. You lie down and read whatever you can. You are crawling on that day, but at least you are doing something. You have not given up. You have not given up. I will answer a few of your questions, which are thick and fast. Questions are coming. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for your questions. Can we join TND and DBMCI only for dermatology? Not, bache. You'll have to take the complete course, and then you can come and learn dermatology from me. Trust me on this. I've been in this field long enough to know that you cannot prepare for only one subject. There are 19 subjects you have to master, and everything is important. Everything is important. Okay. Uh, Bharti, how to get less than 100 rank in INICT May, as I got 86,000 in NEET. But one thing I need you to know. This is the question which really gives you trouble. Your question is about results. That I need to get less than 100 in INICT. What if you are not result focused? What if you are effort focused? What if your goal is not INICT? What if your goal is not less than 100? What if your goal is reading 10 hours tomorrow? Is that not a better goal? Is that not a goal of effort rather than a goal of result? I used to make that goal, that my goal is not AIMS, my goal is not PGI, my goal is not a central institute, my goal is not dermatology. My goal is tomorrow I need me to be the best. I need to read 10 hours, that was my goal tomorrow. And if I can get that goal tomorrow night, I used to pat myself on the back saying, Saurabh, you are great. I used to do this self-affirmation. That self-affirmation always used to make you feel so good. It used to make me feel that yes, I'm someone. Most of us wrongly believe at this stage, most of you wrongly believe at this stage that you will only be someone once you get a good PG seat. But what if I told you you are already someone in life today? Look back and see the journey you've already come in. Problem is you only look at what's next. What is behind? Behind is a journey of success. You are here today because of a series of successes. So why not acknowledge that success? First of all, do this to yourself. Why only give likes to other people? Why only give likes on WhatsApps and Facebooks? Why not give a like to yourself first? Why not give your own love to yourself first? Because you cannot drink out of an empty cup. You are trying to take performance out of yourself, but you're not pampering yourself. You're not acknowledging your own efforts. So how can you get a good result? Because your product, you're not feeling confident about your own product. Get one second this. Next PG or NEET in 2024. Bache, there's a lot. We have a separate video. I want you, all of you, to get to that video. There's a lot of videos we have made about next and NEET. There's a lot of guidelines there. Some clarity is still to come. So please don't get into that at this stage. This creates a lot of confusion. We at DBMCI have already modified our curriculum. All our teaching, all our curriculum, all your question bank is next ready. Do not worry about it. Do not worry about it. Aditya has asked me what all to read the last 10 to 12 days before exams for short subject. Remember, when we come to that last 10 to 12, 15 days time before INICT, we always have a YouTube session where we plan something for you. So wait out for that. It's very easy. We'll divide the days of all your subjects, but for that, first you have to make your own 20th copy. So when you're reading something today, make a 20th copy where the volatile stuff goes, and in the end, then you read only that. Did you get that clear? Okay. Arpita has asked me, I made all my notes from the regular class, but sir, my concept is not clear. Now, this is a very interesting question, Arpita. I want you to know one thing, that if the concepts have still not come, that means there is something lacking in your understanding. There is something happening there. So now what you do at that situation is, then you look at the recorded version, because we do supply a recorded version as well for all of you. So see the same teacher and see if you can get an access to him through a recorded thing if you've already done a regular thing, and try to see if your concepts become clearer. Right? Got this? Okay. Now, can we use one-shot revision videos for INICT? Yes, you can. Though it was mainly done for NEET, but the portion for INICT remains the same. These are very, very high value topics. Your INICT also will be helped by one shot. We did one shot for all the subjects and a lot of effort went into that. So that remains the same, though we are also doing PYQs, and that also would really make a lot of difference. Right? Yes. Now, please comment on diploma in child health. Bache, I'm not the right person to comment on the diploma in child health. I'm a dermatologist. I'm here to give you a plan for your exam which is coming here. I want you to look at the mental mindset. That's what I'm here for today, and I'm here to cheer you up. I'm here to give you hope, and I'm here to tell you that there is something golden waiting for you. I want you to open your arms. I want you to open your heart and the soul for the possibility of a beautiful future, rather than looking at the back and saying, No, I did not do well in my MBBS. Oh, I did not do well in my NEET exam. Everybody has done well. That means I am not capable. What if things are happening inside? What if micro cracks are already happening inside? It may need one more hit. That's all. One more hit of NICT preparation, one more hit of NEET preparation, one more hit of next preparation, and what if you suddenly get a good rank? Maybe all this effort was not wasted effort, but what if these were stored efforts? These stored efforts are something which are not visible, right? You can't see that. There's no visible change on the rock, on the stone, but things are happening, and you have to trust me that these actually do really work in the end, right? Yes, I used multiple sources in my UG days. Now what should I do? Bache, Kuroko, that's what I said. Out of all the sources that you do, just analyze which is your best source, and then trust that source with all your heart. Then don't get a FOMO feeling that, oh, that one is good, that one is good. Grass is always green on the other side. Stick to one source, and that will, any source. Okay, we know our source is good, right? I invite you to check us out and see if you like that, then stick to us. Then you don't do this and this, because your gurus have been here for long enough to know what to teach and what not to teach. Get this? So what, most of us believe in one thing, that it's very important to know what to teach in a class, but it's more important to know what not to teach inside the class, because those are junk information which we never do. So don't rely on junk information, right? Okay, so it's so beautiful that all of us have invested your time and effort. I see a lot of students here. I see so many students are still asking me questions. I know that felt need for you. I know I was in this time, and in this time, I used to be sad. I'll be very honest and truthful on that. When I was at home sitting for 1 year preparing, it was a lonely time, बच्चे. मुझे अफसोस होता था, मुझे दुख होता था, मुझे लगता था कि बाकी सब आगे चले गए, मैं पीछे रह गया. दिस फीलिंग आई नो व्हाट इट फील्स, बिकॉज आई फेल्ट इट. मुझे लगता था कि दुनिया रुक गई है मेरे लिए, बाकी सारी दुनिया आगे जा रही. जैसे हम कहते हैं ना कि दो ट्रेनें हैं, एक ट्रेन प्लेटफॉर्म पे रुकी है और एक ट्रेन आगे चली गई, और वो ट्रेन थी मेरे दोस्तों की, जिनको कोई ना कोई फील्ड मिल रहा था और मैं था, मुझे नहीं मिला, और मुझे लगता था मुझे नहीं मिलने वाला. और मुझे अब जो वो टाइम याद आता है तो मुझे ना बहुत, मुझे लगता है कोई मुझे उस टाइम पे मेरा हाथ पकड़ लेता, कोई मेरे को सपोर्ट कर देता. एंड यू नो व्हाट हैपेंड? I did get support from one person, and that one person believed in me in all, with all her heart and all her soul. I want you to find that one person whom you go to, whom you can cry on her shoulders or his shoulders and say कि मुझे अच्छा नहीं लग रहा, क्या मेरा कुछ होगा. You need one person to believe in you, and you know what? Life will change, bache. Life, trust me on this. Life changes for almost everyone. The only thing you need is faith, trust, hope, and a love for a future which is bright. Right? I am an FMG. I'm still confused now. How should I approach if next comes? Bache, I want you to come to us. Because FMG preparation has been very different, and NEET and next preparation is very different. Okay, FMG is just a clearing exam. Here you have to get a good rank. So your concepts are not difficult to make. We will make that for you. Come to us. Let us hold your hand. And that hand holding is something that we do day in and day out. And this is again a hand holding session that we are coming for you, right? Arpita, thank you, bache. Thank you, bache. Thank you for your comments. I worked very hard, read all subjects in less, but still preparation I was confused. Yes, a lot of students will say, sir, I could rule out two options, but between two options, then I messed up. This happens, बच्चे, for everyone. Okay, be kind to yourself. चलता है, होता है, कोई बात नहीं, हम वापस कोशिश करेंगे. Right? Rocky Balboa sentence. I say this in all my classes. It is not about how many times you get hit in life. It's never been about that. It's not again been about how many times you fall down in life. It's always been how many times you can get back up and hit back. So life is always about getting back up, getting out of your comfort zone, honesty of effort, and living with a sense of gratitude to the journey you've always had in the past. Yes? Okay. KBB, I'm your student from Tamil, that I read. Okay. Yes. So I think it's almost been an hour of time between, for all of us. Uh, not satisfied with my rank, need better faring again. Yes. KBB, I know the feeling that you're having. Again, look at this. Every new attempt, start from scratch, start from a fresh slate. Don't start from the burden of a bad result from the past. Wipe out that slate and say, let's start again, let's start this journey again, and God knows the stone will crack one day. Trust yourself on that. Resilience is what you train for. You don't train for results, you train for resilience. What is resilience? Resilience is you still walk the talk even though there's no energy in the legs. Even though you don't feel like walking, you still walk, and that's resilience. And that happens because life is supposed to be unjust. Most of us feel कि हमने बहुत अच्छा किया life में, we have been kind to other people, so good things will happen to us. That's not true. You keep on doing good and one day good will happen to you, but that is not immediate. So trust yourself, keep the faith, keep doing good, and then you see something really magic happens in the end. Yes, is it worth to spend money to get a clinical branch? But that's a very open question. I don't think that is justified for me to answer. It all depends on which stage of life you are in. Are you in your second attempt? Are you in your first attempt? So we need to know all of that to know then which college you're getting, how much money do you have, a lot of stuff. So I don't think I can answer that really. Yes. Okay. So at score 335, grade 6. Okay, someone with grade 6. You need to get to a regular batch, bache. You need to get to a live batch where the teacher who handholds you. That's very, very important. Yes. Okay. Kuroko. Yes. Kuroko, don't worry. Skill acquisition is a very slow process. It'll happen over time. Don't really worry about this. You get to a good score. In post graduation, you'll have multiple skills. Don't worry. You will be a good doctor. Once your heart is good, once your ears are good, and you listen well without judgment to other people. When you just listen without judgment, that's really a skill that your doctor, as a doctor, you need more than your real skills, right? Okay. So I think that really sums up what we wanted to do today. I just opened my heart out to how I look at your preparation right now. Okay, to summarize what we did and then we would close is your journey is starting again. Okay, you want to make your concepts clear, get to a face-to-face batch, get to a live class, interact with your teachers, let them hold your hand, give your GTs, do your MCQs, make a 20th copy, increase your concentration by meditation, movement, and sunlight. Get one person in your life who trusts you blindly, who supports you blindly, and remember one thing, bache, you will always become the environment around you. What does that mean? See, I'll give you an example. Let's assume I'm a smoker and I want to quit smoking. Do you think motivation helps me to quit smoking? Not really. No matter how much motivation I have on 31st December, I'll still feel difficult to get that new resolution to work. So I'll quit. You know what's the way to quit smoking? To quit the company of people who smoke. If the friends around me continue to smoke, I can never quit smoking. So I have to stop the environment first. So change the environment. You know what happens? You will start changing as well. So don't work on yourself so much. Work on what you see around you. For example, you want to be a good student. You want to read very well. You want to prepare for your university. Why not be in the company of people who are very serious about their studies? You know what will happen? There's passive diffusion of that intent from them to you, and you will also increase. So it's like a team player. It's like a team effort. If you're in the company of students who are negative, who are pessimistic, who say नहीं यार लाइफ में कुछ नहीं रखा, डॉक्टरी में कुछ नहीं रखा, क्या फायदा इतना पढ़ के, you know what will happen? You will also start becoming like that. So the first investment all of you should do in life is be very, very clear about what is around you. If the surrounding is bad, you will have that badness, and if your surrounding is good, you will find the greatness. I wanted to be an athlete all the time. I could never be, even though I was very motivated. Then I joined a running club and I became a runner automatically, right? So whenever you are in the company of like-minded people who are doing the thing that you wanted to do, you will start doing it automatically, without effort, without motivation. Motivation, bacha, is a myth. Motivation is a myth. What is more important is discipline. I call it boring discipline. Rafael Nadal, any big athlete that you see, Roger Federer, do they feel like playing every day? They don't. So motivation doesn't drive them. What drives them is the drive of purpose, to create something meaningful in life, to create a statue which you are proud of, because you are chiseling your own statue. You are making a masterpiece out of yourself. And after 60 years, you look at your own self and say, oh, I've made a masterpiece on my own self. So you are that hammer which is chiseling your own body, and you're saying, okay, I'm going to be making something I'm proud of. I'm not sitting back. I'm here to make a name for myself. And you know what? More often than not, you will always lie on the success sides. It might take time, but you are almost there. What if I told you your success right around the bend, you can't see the bend? And you look back, oh, I did it. And say, hey, sir, this is so good. This is so good. I am someone who has been very, very unsure of myself in the past. And I'm here today to tell you that was my biggest mistake. I did not ever believe that I'm going to do what I am doing right now. But that one person in my life changed everything, because she trusted me with everything. And when I was not trusting myself. And because she trusted me, I started trusting myself. And this then really got me home. And bache, trust me on this. You need that one person. You need that one person to put to hand on your shoulder. बच्चे हो जाएगा तेरा, कोई बात नहीं, हो जाए. ढूंढो उस बंदे को, ढूंढो, अपने एनवायरमेंट को बदलो, और आप ये देखोगे कि लाइफ ने जो टेस्ट आपके आगे पासा फेंका है ना, वो आप जीतोगे. और जीत डिलेड है, लेकिन जीत डिनाइड नहीं है. डिनाई नहीं होगी, डिले है. इस डिले का इंतजार करें बच्चे. पेशेंस इज द वर्च्यू आई वांट यू टू हैव राइट नाउ. Yes? Fine. Great. So this really helps me wind up this session. It's been a joyful session for me. It's been 1 hour. There was no agenda I had. There's no slides that I'm presenting. It's just an impromptu session, right? अर्पिता अगर वो पर्सन नहीं है, कोई बात नहीं, आप तो हो. One can be even you. No, one person. It need not be anyone else. It can be you also, no? तो अगर आप अपने आप को ही ट्रस्ट करने लग जाओ तो you don't need anyone else. Yes. So if you don't have anyone else, you have yourself. That pat on the back you can give yourself every night when you finish your goal of 8 to 10 hours of reading. इतना ही करना है. 8 से 10 घंटे पढ़ना है. ऐसे 12-12 घंटे 14 घंटे नहीं पढ़ना है. 8 से 10 घंटे कॉन्सेंट्रेशन से पढ़ना है. More than enough. Right? Right. Thank you so much. We are exactly at 1 hour. That was my intention of pulling this for an hour. And I would welcome your comments, welcome your questions to how you felt this session went. And your questions somehow got answered. Your mental framework started coming in. The magic hour concept, don't lose your first hour of the day. That is where magic is made, right? That is really where magic gets made. First hour, never lose that magic first hour. समझ रहे हो? समझ रहे हो? Chisel your own body. Chisel your own self. Change your environment. Smell something nice. अगरबत्ती लगाओ सुबह. उसकी जो essence है, that will dry you up. And one final thing before I really wind up. Whenever you read now, the first thing you have to do is, when you read, okay, your posture should be like an army person. Okay. Now this posture also determines concentration, by the way. Some students are asking how to increase concentration. If your shoulders are back and your chest is out and your back is straight, that's the warrior posture. And in a warrior posture, your mind thinks, oh, I have to concentrate. But if you're slacking like this, you're kind of like this, with the dull mentality, with your drawn face and your drawn cheeks, then your mind says, yeah, this fellow needs to go to sleep. So your concentration goes down. And when you're like this, right erect, I used to always read that and never do this, see what I'm doing right now? Don't take the back support, because that again makes you slack. Do this. Whenever I teach in my class, I never even once do this, because I know my concentration goes down. And when I'm doing this without my back support, first of all, my back muscles get trained. That helps me sit for long hours, and then my concentration improves. Have you ever seen an army person slacking like this on the battlefield? No. He's like this because that determines alertness. That determines alertness, right? And that really is the power that you can get from yourself. ठीक है? बंदे, मुझे पता है आपके अंदर एक दुनिया है, ठीक है, आपके अंदर एक जमाना है, एंड मैं चाहता हूं उस एक्सप्रेशन को बाहर लाना. आपके जो एक्सप्रेशन बाहर आते हैं वो यूजुअली नेगेटिव आते हैं कि कुछ नहीं होगा, पता नहीं करूं कि नहीं कर. करो ना बच्चे, अब नहीं करोगे तो कब करोगे? ठीक है, चलो. विद दिस, my folded hands to you, and my folded hands are just my wish for all of you, just my prayers for all of you to get through this very difficult phase of life, which is your PG preparation. I am not here to tell you it's easy, but I'm here to tell you it's worth it. Thank you very much. Goodbye. God bless. And I would welcome your comments, because that's the only way we improve as faculty. If you can just comment what you felt about this novel session that we had. This was not a session for the actual subject. It was a session for this. Okay. And this is where most of us lose the game. The game is not lost in content. Many times the game is lost here. This is where you win, this is where you lose. And most of us have not really been given training for the mind. We have been given training for anatomy, biochemistry, physiology, everything, right? But we have not been given training for this. So here I am here to give you a mentorship for this part of your preparation, which actually might be as important, right? So thank you very much. Goodbye. God bless. And may God take you home. And one day you come back to me and say, Ki, sir, I had almost given up, but somehow I found that courage to stand up one last time. And I thank God that I stood up that one last time, and I'm here to show you my degree. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much, God, that I just mustered up my courage to just get up on my creaky knees, weak knees, but somehow I found my strength to get my second wind, and I ran with that. And I'm here to tell you, I'm so happy that that actually happened. Thank you so much.